Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing all right. Hello, we're now live. There's plenty.
Hi there.
Hi there.
Tarana says, say hello.
Hello. Hello, Ash. Hello, everyone.
Hi guys.
Hi there.
There's so many questions. Tarana, I will let you select the best questions and put them on screen if that's okay, because I'm not wearing contact lenses.
Gotcha.
Now I'm a bit blind. So anyway, today is the big day. We are showing you all the Tomb Raider, the Myth of El Hawa, which we were working on for a year plus, I think. Just under a year. I can't remember when we started it.
It's actually over a year. It's
Over a year.
Yeah.
Well over a year, yeah.
You said
No,
it
it's
like
been 2 weeks. Come on, 2 weeks. It's been 2
That
weeks.
is true. That is true. I can't remember. It just passed so quickly, and even though I know I took a long time to actually make it happen, but I'm actually regretting I've done it so fast now because it's just done now, dusted. But oh well.
If only you'd had another 5 years. I mean, it could have been perfect. Yeah.
Would have been of epic proportions.
Yeah,
Probably
and
not.
about 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like me. Yes. So we're just gonna have a quick Q&A. So if you have any questions for maybe myself, I don't know why. There's Taranati, who helped me a lot with direction of the animation as well. There's Dean, who wrote music, who will tell us a little bit about his approach. And there's Jonell, obviously, who was laracroft once again, and done an amazing job. And Murti Schofield, the mastermind behind the story. So feel free to ask the question. Those of you who are watching and who supported my channel via Coffee, be on the lookout from email from me very soon, because you all are getting prizes. So, be on the lookout for that.
Right.
Yes.
Involved?
No, spoiling everyone.
What are they? I want to know.
They're posters and some of the stuff that you signed as well. So, lots of cool stuff.
Coconut.
I can't see anything on the screen except a poster. So I've just got voice to go by.
That
so
is all right. Yeah,
I'm happy with that.
we're streaming on different platforms, but the premiere will be on YouTube as well. If you're watching this on Twitch
Okay.
or Facebook, don't worry, we will show it here as well. So just carry on watching us here. But also, who are waiting it on YouTube,
Okay.
it will be live. Eventually. Murti is joining us via phone line, so that's why he can't see stuff. So Jennifer Milward is asking, Dean, what were the major ideas going into this? What were your initial thoughts on scoring Lara's time in the desert?
Hi Jenny. Well, that's a nice question because obviously I started reading the script, and there's also a setting itself, Egypt, was something that was really coherent, the whole story, and it wasn't that hard to actually make the music out of it. Then when Yasmin started pushing the artwork, I was like, wow, this is gonna be a really, really big thing. And then of course Jonell with her voiceover, and then it was like a little puzzle coming all together. And what I wanted to, of course, respect the source material coming from Nathan and Peter, but I wanted to push it a bit further, a bit step away from classic Tomb Raider soundtracks. That's why I used bigger orchestration, lots of choir, and solo voice, which was never been used in a soundtrack before, I think. And the main idea was, without spoiling anything, considering that this is a story that's talking about Lara's past life after the last revelation, I didn't want to include so many classical motifs until Lara talks about her former life, and it's sort of nostalgic trip that spikes you from time to time. So yeah, I'm excited for you to hear it.
You've done actually quite a good job there. When the Chronicles theme started, I don't know what's about that Chronicles theme. I never really liked Chronicles soundtrack until very recently, actually. And when the Chronicles theme started, when I've last seen this before the premiere in Derby, I was like, oh, we went all emotional. And when in Derby, where I seen it, and the Chronicles theme started again, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm gonna cry again now. I did, thankfully.
Yeah.
Because I
Peter was punching me. He was sitting next to me, and he was like, ah.
Everybody should have a really good cry, because that seems to have been the theme since Saturday. Everybody's been so emotional, crying over everybody else and weeping, and yeah, it's good stuff. It's good to cry.
Good stuff? It's not. It's like you cried so much. So we got a question to Jonell. Did you approach Lara's character differently with how you voiced her in the past games? So I assume you approached the character in the El Hawa.
No, I don't think so. I tried to pick up where I left off. I mean, you know, she went through a pretty dark time in that desert.
She had. Yeah.
I only saw it for the first time at TR26 last weekend, and it was like, wow, I'm seeing this for the first time in a year. I think, you know, it was quite a lot of script to get through, and I remember just sort of like going into my little home studio and sort of, you know, just getting in my little hole and just reading it and trying to understand it as I was going through it. But it's like, to watch it back last weekend, it really did sort of make sense to me. Yeah. I think I was just so like, I must say these words right, and you know, I'm sorry, but my dog is at the door wanting to come in. He's scratching.
Is that a line from the script? I don't remember that one.
I'm going to let him in because he'll continue scratching. Right, here we go. Sorry, guys.
There is a
We've got a
question
whippet
from.
in the room.
My Ellie's here too, also actually chilling, but for a change. So we have a question here from Unsavory Little Runt. Jonell, what kind of preparation did you do to step back into Lara's shoes?
Oh gosh.
That is
I don't
someone's
think
name.
I don't think I really did a lot, to be honest. I just, you know, read through the script a couple of times and tried to make sense of it and just, you know, tried to step into her shoes again. But I don't think it was really that hard. I've been living with her for quite a few years now.
Oh, I don't know why Murti multiplied there for a second. We have a question here from Geek Raider, who a second time in the past 12 months she fooled me, because I assumed it was a girl at first, and he approached me at the event, but it was not a girl.
Geek Raider is so beautiful.
There you go, Geek Raider. You're so beautiful. That's Lara said to you that, not me. So, Murti, what was your creative process for El Hawa? Everything you write is so detailed and intriguing. I'd love to know how you come up with these ideas.
Oh, that sounds like one of those open-ended questions where I could talk for 4 hours. But
that's
basically,
any question with you, Murti.
You know, what's the saying with anything? Yes. No, since very young, I've read a lot, I've travelled a lot, I've read a lot of comics, I've seen a lot of films, I've read a lot of novels, I've done a lot of research, I've been interested in many areas, archaeology being one of the key ones, and travel and science. And basically, when I look at the potential for a storyline, I write down where I want to go. If I can get the names of the characters, well, you know, with Lara Croft, of course, the name was there. But if I can get the name of the characters, usually a whole set of personality characteristics comes with that. And then, right, how can we put them in a position of major conflict? And how can I throw in as many real-world elements as possible, so that the differences between the real world and the created world become blurred, and nobody can really start to untangle them. And that's where I go from there. And that was a typical process with Angel of Darkness. I really wanted to get in all the Nephilim stuff, the Cappadocian stuff, all the historical stuff, the Knights Templar, which became, you know, for us, the Lux Veritatis. So yeah, mixing it up with the real and created elements so that people could have a lot of fun untangling it and finding the way through it.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to stop
question.
now. That was a short one.
There's another one for you. So, this is on from Potkanka, with whom I really want to stream Angel Darkness, actually. She knows more about Angel Darkness than you, Murti. I'm not even kidding, seriously.
That wouldn't take very much effort, because I've forgotten most of it.
Well, Murti, was there any real-life inspiration for the tribe Lara stays with? I don't know how much I can mention. I only read the text version on your website.
Yes, there was. I've been very influenced by myths and legends and stories I've had about lost cities and lost tribes in the desert, and I was wondering how a tribe this had been brought up in the desert could disappear, and I thought, well, perhaps they had a reason to disappear, perhaps they had and then of course one of the great influences on my creative life has been Dune by Frank Herbert. And all the elements that are there so strongly in Dune, with the tribes who have all these features that they hide out in from the Harkonnens and so on, that began to oh yes, I can use some of those elemental story ideas from Dune, and it becomes very, very strong. And then it, as often happens, I'm mulling over this stuff, and I'll wake up in the middle of the night. Bang, and the idea's there, crystal clear, and I have to get it written down, otherwise it disappears. And I just woke up with the idea of this tribe. I didn't know what the name was at that time. I just got this idea of this tribe, and if Lara is tied in with this tribe, then all sorts of incredible story possibilities came to light. So yes, it's a great mix. It's a great mix of elements.
Okay, there is another one from Pensacola Miss, Dan. His name is Dan. He wrote this track that you hear on the background, this amazing Tomb Raider synth tribute that everyone actually was asking me at the Derby event, because we played it there. If it's on Spotify, you should put it on Spotify, we can share profits, I don't mind. It is beautiful, isn't it? It's amazing. So he's asking Dean, surprisingly, what structure were you given for the music? Were you given a number of minutes to write for, or were you steered by the narrative beats at different points?
Well, of course, we knew how long was the voiceover length. So what I divided story into like 3 parts, and I wanted different mood and atmosphere for each part without spoiling anything. Again, there is like an opening part, there is a middle part that's more shamanistic, and then the final part that's more grounded, I would say, in terms of orchestration, and the rest is everything just following the cue moments in text that were like just telling the story. I wanted to come up with a track that can tell the story even without the voiceover. So that was my goal, not making like an ambient looping music for the background, but something that when you listen to, you can actually get the feeling and emotions without
brilliant.
With the voiceover.
There's a message from Blade Master. I don't have a question per se, but if that's okay, I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to both Jonell and to Murti for playing a key role in my introduction to Tomb Raider. Chronicles was my very first touch to the series, just like mine, when Jonell was already voicing Lara, and she's been the definitive voice of Lara for me. I actually sent a link to the stream to Shelly. I hope she will not murder me after this. And Murti for the amazing story he came up with for the Angel of Darkness, which remains my absolute favorite in the series. So thank you,
thank you.
for this
Thank you.
wonderful message. Well, Jonell from Bjorn and his Sexy Beard, what was it hard for you to go back into the role of Lara, or was it more like coming home again?
I think it was coming home. Yeah, I mean, I was just so amazed to be asked again after all these years. But it came. I think it came quite easily, really. She is almost part of me.
This is something I wanted to actually ask you, Jonell. During recording of Angel of Darkness, Chronicles, The Last Revelation even, how, directors were you in the sense of the voice? Because I know Shelley was, strictly made to be this, flat, kind of non-emotional, cool character, whilst you sound... when Shelley speaks herself, you can just about recognize that she did Lara. Well, with you, you can hear Lara right away when you speak, like it's just there, like naturally. So I just wonder if that's just your natural kind of cool, like flat, not flat, but more like upbeat, but I kind of, you know what I mean? Were you directed or not?
I mean, I think I had a bit more freedom than Shelley. I think I could put a bit more personality into it. I think I said at TR26 I got to play her as young Lara as well. So I was able to sort of like grow with that part over the 3 games. And I think she became a little bit more sassy and comedic. But yeah, I definitely got to play around with her.
She definitely has become sassy. I think that's why Angel of Darkness has such a following, because she's just so rude sometimes to people, like for no reason. Just, give it to me now. Like, it's just like.
Jonell, as a favour to me, could you say "you unsavoury little runt" just for all the fans?
Of course, you unsavoury little runt.
You don't mean me personally, there, do you? Yeah.
I think I said that on a few people's phone lines as well to their mates.
I think like literally every single time you appear on the interview, everyone is asking you to say that. Apparently, Murti wanted to use different words. They just didn't let him, so he left with a runt instead. That's what you said, Murti, not my words.
No. I always meant to say exactly that.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Well then, Murti, I have a question for you from the world of Tomb Raider. When sequels were cancelled, I just hired some writers for the novel Tomb Raider: The Amulet of Power. Even reading that title leaves a taste in my mouth. What was great, which filled the gap between Tomb Raider 4 and the Angel of Darkness. It ignored completely El Hawa, Butai, and everything else. Did I just ask you in 2003 if you agree with this kind of novel sequel, or they completely ignored your plan? I'm happy that after 20 years we got true canon explanation.
Well, I haven't read any other versions except Jenny's following on, so I can't really give a valid opinion on the actual work itself, but what I can do is encourage people to write their own versions as much as possible and have fun with it. So not having read any of the alternate versions, I just applaud the fact that people are doing it, and I really encourage people to carry on doing that, make their own version. There's so much material on Tomb of Ash and on my own website, murtischofield.com. There's so much other information there that's not been used. People can have fun with it endlessly. It's like a big sandbox. You can just play around with it forever and ever, and I do encourage people to do that. So.
Right, we just got 15 minutes before the stream. So Bjorn and his sexy beard is saying, for all of you, could this be the start of even more Angel of Darkness related stories, or is this like a one-time project for you? You all have great energy together. I'm sure you deliver many more true Tomb Raider stories.
That would be great.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Like a big series.
Count me in.
If I would not have another mental breakdown during making it, yeah, sure. I mean, there is still like, I was hoping for one day to have a game made about Janice, for example, because she's one of the greatest characters ever. So, or it could be like a multiplayer game, like you play with Janice and Lara running about.
I know they should.
I think
back. Make her do
that's
more.
very much a niche interest kind of game you've got in mind there, I think.
I don't know why Janice
Janice and Lara running around.
It's so hilarious that Janice is like so popular with the gay community as well. It's like she's a prostitute.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's like
she's a great character.
She is.
Yeah.
Like she just disappears.
And
like,
Natalie is. Yeah, Natalie Willick-Nett she's the perfect Janice as well. So.
She is, yeah.
So hi.
She's watching, yeah. We should say hello to her, but also that's
hi Natalie.
Some trivia for you. Hers were the first female breasts I ever touched. I didn't touch many. I touched 3 pairs so far.
That's a cosplayer, her.
Is this the route we're going down now with this interview?
Yes. Well, that's all. It's given.
Okay.
It's given.
Confession
It's
time.
given. Yeah. It's
No,
a
no,
downtime
it's
after
fine that it's
party.
given.
Right. I have a question for Jonell from Seth.
Yeah.
Did you have a good
Nice.
laugh at some of the bitchy lines before recording?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, I did get to say those quite a few times and yeah, mess about with them. Yeah, I mean they're great put downs, aren't they? I mean, at times she could be a little bit of a bitch.
Don't be sorry.
As I remember it, Jonell, we couldn't shut you up. I mean, you were just using them all the time. You were going out into the street and into that cafe and calling them unsavoury little runts, and
Yes.
yeah, we had to drag you back. Yeah.
It sounds like Jonell.
I know, they're killer lines, aren't they? Yeah, no, I had a brilliant time with them. Yeah, it was great to meet you, by the way. It was
Sorry,
brilliant.
Jonell. Say
All the
again.
fans out there.
Jonell, say again.
Sorry, I said it was brilliant to meet all the fans out there. I was just saying it was great to meet Seth face to face.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with
Yeah.
you in Derby
Yeah.
weekend. We need to do it annually, like, just actually,
Yeah.
no, next year is actually 20
Kelly's
years
turn
of
next.
yeah. Well, no, 20 years of Angel of Darkness is actually next year.
Is it?
It is.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
20
Gosh.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yes.
2023 is going to be the year. This was just a kickstart to it all. So.
Well, between us girls, I am slowly talking to a few experts in France, whether they will be able to or interested to invite.
Are we going to do something in Paris?
Yes.
That
Well,
would be good.
well, hopefully it's early days. We're asking about this thing.
Let's work on that one.
Yeah. Well, of course I will. I'm plotting. I'm like femme fatale plotting. Right. George Raider, Murti, you said travel is one of the things you draw inspiration from. Were there any specific
Yes.
real-world locations that inspired your writing for The Angel of Darkness or El Hawa?
Yes, the key one has to be Cappadocia in the central of Turkey, Anatolia. I went to visit the underground cities and explore them there, Janet and Derinkuyu and various other ones. They're all interlinked, of course. It's incredible. It's an entire set of cities which the inhabitants at the time used to retreat into in times of invasion. And they had wineries down there, water reservoirs. People could live under there for ages. It's just like a scene from Dune, where they all hide in the sieges and they're completely self-sustaining. And I'd learnt enough Turkish to be able to ask the tour directors, because I got very friendly with them, and I said, can you take me, is there any chance you could take me down to the lower layers that you don't usually get to? And it took a little bit of umming and ahhing because they were concerned about their jobs, but eventually they took me down to some of the these things are 13 layers deep, some of them, and I don't know what layer I was at, but we've got some very, very deep layers. And then I said, I don't know if you would be prepared to just leave me here for an hour with the lights off. And then they thought that was a very strange thing to ask, but they agreed, and I sat in the darkness there, and I just can't tell you what that experience was like, and the ideas and the thoughts and the themes that were going through my head during that. It seemed like much more than an hour. But yes, that was Turkey, but also the southern region of France, the area around Montresor, where the Cathars were slaughtered, and very, very mysterious, all linked with the Knights Templar and stuff. So I did a lot of exploring around there as well. Anywhere that's got any history which really sparks me off, I'll try and I have tried to get there. I think my travelling days are pretty much over now, but it was all good rough material, ground material for the stories. So travel broadens the mind.
You're such a knowledgeable man, Murti. You could sit and talk.
Well, I've been alive for about 210 years now, so it's.
Oh, Jonell, you need to go on a road trip with him. Seriously, you need to go on a road trip with him. Everywhere he drives by, he will be. Oh, I used to work on something there. I used to work there. Literally everything. And then when I ask him, have you ever been a Santa? He's like, yes. And he shows me a picture of himself in a Santa Claus suit. So he was.
Yes, that was when I was part of a deaf signing choir. I was one of the only Santas who could do sign language and communicate with the deaf kids. That was one of my greatest experiences. Yeah. So yeah, and I've always been interested in languages and the forms of languages and the variations in languages: Arabic, Turkish, French, particularly German, Italian, Scandinavian. Yeah. So picked up smatterings of all sorts of things. So
there's so many strings to your bow.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm gonna ask a question that not the one that's attached. We'll come back to that one in a second. But there's a question from Unsavory later on for Tarenate. How did you prepare to be one of the masters of directography on a project involving a story that's so special to you? Come on, talk.
Oh wow! I was actually completely trying to avoid answering any questions.
I know.
For myself,
That's why I'm asking it.
Go on.
Well, basically, I was more brought in for technical reasons, which was I was supposed to edit Jonell's voice, which was quite interesting because I was scared shitless during Derby that she's gonna go like, "Who the hell edited this? What the hell is this?" Because
it sounded great. You did a brilliant job.
I know.
Brilliant job.
Yeah, thank you. So I was really happy when everything went well because, you know, like English clearly not my first language, so I experienced it a little bit different from what you native peeps do. And when I try to edit it in the way how I always perceived Lara to sound for me when I was playing, you know, all the games that Jonell voiced. But at the same time, I was also trying to add a little bit of contrast to it. And then later on, I worked with Dean together on his music and stuff because we needed to prolong some parts, add some pauses and stuff like that. And after that, I worked with Ash on directing when certain image should appear in relation to the music and to beats. So I was pretty much working on all parts of the film except the drawings. That was completely
and Tarenate was literally there, sitting there and whipping my ass to do work, and that was very important, I must say. Otherwise, it would be delayed forever.
you had to pay her a lot to whip your ass as well, didn't you?
I know, she's the chief whip, like a Conservative Party whip. Right, there's one question from Uncharted Trade, our main sponsor. For Jonell, just wanted to say thank you for your incredible work you have done with the franchise, and forever hands down, you're my favorite Lara. Anytime I'm playing to 4 to the Angel of Darkness or read any of the old comics, I always hear your voice. I think you're really inspirational. Thank you for everything you've done so far for us.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. I just, like I said, I can't believe I'm still sitting here all these years later talking about this wonderful character. You know, I feel blessed. Thank you.
What took you so long to come out of your shell?
I know. I don't know. I suppose I was probably a little bit scared. And a bit overwhelmed maybe. But you know, they're lovely people out there, so you know, I feel very thankful that I get involved with the whole Tomb Raider fan base because they're brilliant. They're just a lovely group of people.
Yeah, did you
and very inspiring.
Did you enjoy meeting
I
them?
loved it. I haven't laughed that much in years, honestly.
I've seen you cry.
I was crying laughter. I wasn't, you know, it was emotional, but there were a lot of tears of laughter.
I want to ask a question to Jonell because unfortunately the panel is most likely not happening due to recordings and blah blah blah. Not important.
Don't worry.
However, for all the fans here now that are, I want to ask, how was it like meeting with Eric Loren again after so many years?
You know what? Yeah.
It was like you were like divorced like spouses, but like meeting again and about to like, you know, have a rebound again. It was so cute. I don't know why.
Since the day we left that studio. So,
I know.
You know, but to be honest, when I saw him, it was like I'd literally seen him yesterday. So we just picked up where we left off, and it was great catching up with him. And I gave him a lift back to London afterwards, and we just talked to each other, chewed the cud for like 2.5 hours back to London. I love catching up to.
I remember when he just first walked in the hotel, when we were all like very quiet, like, where's him? Like, because the Superman is coming over.
Monday was like, pounce on him. There was a little moment where I was like, he's not going to come, is he? I'm on my own. Because he turned up so late, but thankfully he did. And it was great working with him again.
We're 2 minutes away from the premiere. I'm just going to give a shout out to Luke, who's actually watching. Thank you, Luke, for organizing the Derby event and inviting us all.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks, Luke.
Everyone in the chat, please give him some love as well.
You were ready?
Yes, so I'll just read out this last message here. It was brilliant at Derby last weekend. It was my first fan event, and I loved meeting Jonell and Eric and other Tomb Raider fans. And I can't agree more on that one. So we're going to watch Tomb Raider, The Myth of El Hawa now. Don't switch wherever you're watching this. We're going to come back later on. If Jonell can stay, she will stay. If not, she will leave us alone.
Oh, it's my whippet. I think, he's driving me mad. He's too clingy. I think I've got to go and give some food. Okay. I might come back though.
Oh, you might come back. Okay, well, you know the link, how to enter. And Murti, you just stay on the line. We'll have a quick Q&A with Murti afterwards. 60 seconds, and I'm switching to Tomb Raider, The Myth of El Hawa. I hope you guys will enjoy it as much as we enjoyed making it.
Yes.
Nice talking to you all.
And you.
Likewise.
Bye, my darlings.
Bye.
Bye.
The great deserts have witnessed countless deaths over the centuries. I almost became one of them in the shadows beneath the pyramids. It is time to tell how I was reborn in those shadows and emerged as part of the living desert itself.
And mute that mic.
There we go. I am so sorry that we had some technical difficulties. We could not stream to Facebook and Twitch. So please, I hope those of you who missed the beginning of it, go on YouTube and watch it later on. It has been live and has some good reception in chats as well. 82 people, 96 people watching live, which is incredible for my small YouTube channel. So thank you, everyone who are watching, and thank you Uncharted Radio for $25 on the YouTube as well. Thanks for that. So, Murti, have you watched it?
Yes, I went back to Facebook, and Jenny gave me a link that worked, so I was able to watch it because I couldn't see it on this particular connection. So yes, watched it again, second time. It's not bad. It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. No. It's I
button here.
You know, I've got an admission here. You know, there were parts where I was just brought to tears again, particularly when Lara describes being accepted by the tribe and saying that she never, she's never felt so accepted by a people. She's never felt so at home, and it just, had me teared up. And the music, the voice work, the artwork. I mean, Jasmine has done a superb piece of work here. The music, doesn't give you any chance not to be emotional. It's
I mean, music. It's just way too good. You need to kick it out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very, very pleased and proud with this, and I know that everybody else who contributed to this is, including yourself, Ash. So, good piece of work. It's a good kickstart for next year.
Yeah.
So.
Excuse me, what's happening next year?
Well, it's the 20th anniversary of something. AOD, I think. So.
Yes, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Ash, can I join in with a couple of sentences?
Go on, yeah.
So, when we are all Tomb Raider fans, of course, and then you have people who have been working on the game officially, such as Murti, Peter, Jonell, Eric. So when you find yourself in situations that you are working on something with them, it's surreal. I wrote a Facebook post yesterday, and I was typing it. I was like, dear God, like if someone told me like 20 years ago that I'll be sitting next to Peter at Quad and been composing music for Murti's story with Jonell, and it's crazy when like official people from Tomb Raider and the community works together. And I don't know, my heart like I told Murti last night that his mission is to make me emotional and cry almost every time, so I will not, but seriously, experience like this, it's unbelievable.
Oh, you're welcome,
so
Tim. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'll invite you again. It's okay. You're welcome.
Yes.
But yeah, I can relate to what you said. Yeah, it is quite weird, isn't it? Just like occasionally I open WhatsApp and I see voice recordings from Shelly swearing about something. It's like, how did that happen? Like, what is my life? What's going on? Like, in all fairness, like I remember vividly when we were actually walking in Derby to the building where they made the first games. I remember vividly walking on that street in 2009 when I first used the Derby. There was no laracroft way at the time. Actually, core design still existed. Like they were called Rebellion Derby at the time, so they still existed by Harvester. And we were walking there, and I felt so fainty, like I'm walking down the street where the game was made, blah blah blah. And now look at us, for fuck's sake, just doing stuff with the people who made our childhood. So a bit less shit. Let's just leave it at that.
A bit.
Yeah, Taran.
What, you want me to say something emotional?
Yes, I want you to be awkward.
Oh, okay. I'll be honest, I'm still not processing any of it. Yeah, so that's why probably I'm so efficient, because I've never really had time to stop and think about what's happening. So
yeah, you have delayed reaction.
That's all you're gonna get from me.
You have delayed reaction. I think me and Taranity, I was saying that about myself, but I think Taranity is similar. Me and Taranity, if basically you should fly the planes if me and Taranity is on the plane, because if it crashes, we will organize everything. We'll get you out of the plane, we'll evacuate you all, we'll organize some rations if we are like in a remote location. And then 5 hours later, when everyone is safe, we'll be like, my leg is broken. So, it's like we have very low, like it still just hit me about the premiere. I still I look at the pictures from it. It still feels like I'm still preparing mentally to go to Derby for that, because I don't believe it actually happened still. So it is.
Yeah, same.
Weird. Yeah, it's weird. Like I think my body is slowly catching up. Like I feel a bit sick for the past couple of days.
But you also have to realize this is probably around 628th time I'm watching this video as well. So because me and Dean had to watch it so many times, first because of the voice over editing, then because of the music, then because of the matching the music with voice over editing, then because of the editing of the pictures to the music and to Jonell's voice. So there's also a lot of it. At this point, I'm seeing it more from a technical point of way. Yeah, like, oh, maybe this can be like oh, maybe that can be. So it's hard for me to, just step outside of it for a bit and take it in. I'm still trying to get there.
I think now I get when we talk like to people like Murti or Peter or like any animators, like say like, your game like affected me so much, like I didn't do anything. It was just like my job. But I feel like now, after we we had people approaching us at the studio, I'm talking so like I'm such an asshole, in that sense, like you so up my ass right now. I'm not really. People did approach me after the premiere and saying how great it was, but it feels like but I just did it because I did it. It feels weird to be praised
because you love it.
Yeah, it feels praised to be loved for it. Well, thank you so much for the donation, Ranch. Yes, Murti, go on.
And what you were saying, Tina, about you've watched it so many times. Basically, what you're seeing it as now is a technical process, and it's only when you've got some time between you and this now, you'll be able to re-engage with it on a different level. I used to find that with animated stuff. I mean, I worked at Cosgrove Hall Studios on various series and the BFG film. And after that, I mean, I loved animation. I grew up adoring the Walt Disney animations. But after I'd worked there for about 5 years, I was constantly watching cartoon animation as a series of processes and techniques. And I couldn't enjoy cartoon. It's only, now, years on, I can enjoy, cartoons and animation for what it is, rather than looking at it as a technical process. So yeah, I really get what you're saying about that. It's but it'll come back. It'll come back. You'll connect with the emotion of it, I'm sure, again. So
yeah, it just needs some time.
Yeah, you need time out from it all. So yeah.
Well, after talking to some people after the Derby premiere, I've noticed there are a couple of things that people are really interested in knowing about the Myth of El Hawa in terms of how different it is from the original documents, how it relates to Tomb Raider Chronicles and the cutscene. And there is also a question from World of Tomb Raider asking who has killed the tribe, which is a very interesting question, if the tribe has even been killed. So care to talk a bit about the difference between the original script and your revisions, and what had worked, what had not worked, and stuff like that?
The tribe is not killed.
I'd
the tribe
written some
is socially
original...
isolating.
Sorry, Ash, I missed that. Say again.
I said the tribe is not killed. They're socially isolating.
Yes. yeah, they all got COVID. Yeah. Only it's Cabal COVID. Yeah. No, the original documents back in 2000, 2001. I indicated some initial ideas. One of them, for example, was Von Croy going back and actually finding Lara and having a ding-dong. She almost kills him in the desert. And then he gives up because she's obviously a very different person now, and he can't relate to her, and she's threatening him. So he heads off back. But in the reworked, revised version, nobody goes back to look for her. Well, they do, but they don't find her. Von Croy goes back and leaves the rucksack there as a symbol, by the ruins, and of course it's found by the nomadic children. So that there are some changes, and what I put that down to is the fact that this is Lara talking about this herself, and because she had a really bad time. She was feverish. She was having illusions and all sorts of dreadful things, nightmares. So her mind isn't terribly clear on exactly what happened in the desert. It could be that Von Croy went back and she frightened him, but that's a writer. I mean, I'm a paid liar and professional liar, making up stuff. So it could just be that any version of that is true. But all that needs to be hung on to is that Lara is very angry at Von Croy and goes to give him a good face slapping in Paris. And that's the main motivation that we need from the desert. She goes back to see what the heck's been going on.
Yep.
So
that was another one of my short answers.
Yeah, obviously.
Perfect.
Well, it's really interesting. I was having a bit of a discussion with on Tomb Raider Discord and Steve's Discord actually, and it occurred to me that because she was so revenge driven after she just heard that the tribe has been massacred. So in the beginning of AOD, again, she is revenge driven when is fooled into thinking that Eckhart killed Von Croy. So would you say there is some connection between the happenings in the desert and the Cabal?
Oh, very much so. Yes. I mean, what people want to do if they want to find out more about this is go on my website and look at the full version of the El Hawa story, which is 20 pages long. I mean, this script is about
story.
I think it's a shortened version of it. The full version is 20 odd pages long, and there's a lot more material
No,
in
that's
there.
what I said. The
And
20
the
pages
Cabal.
is a short one.
Oh, that's the short. Yeah, that's the short one of the really long one. Yeah. So there's a lot more information there. And yes, the Cabal are very definitely involved. They've had agents of theirs have been in the desert looking for this myth, this story of this immortality elixir. And you'll have to read the notes to find out quite how they've come across that. But yeah, people are. This is why the Bantiwa have got to be so secretive, and it's why Lara becomes convinced that they haven't been killed. They've actually just vanished. They've vanished themselves. They've disappeared to avoid further conflict. Or have they? Have they? So.
I've noticed there are actually 2 AOD Easter eggs in El Hawa, and I wonder how many people caught them. So I can tell them if people want, or I can just keep them to myself and
I know one of
leave
them
them
is
for you to find them.
Alchemist lab.
Well, now you said it, yes.
What's
But
that
however,
one?
oh, you don't know. Well, there is a part where she says there have been some legionnaire deserters in the desert, and the legionnaire deserter being our one and only Curtis Trent. Din din din. Was Curtis there? Who knows?
That has to remain a question, because Curtis was in North Africa at a different time from when Lara was, and he didn't desert. He served his full 5 years and got French citizenship. But that doesn't mean he didn't go back to the desert. But there are definitely links to ex-legionnaires in there. There's so many layers and Easter eggs and hidden things for people to pick up on. So that all has to be written about at some point in the future. And it could be that Curtis gets his prequel as well. And then after that, because this is the last thing I'm ever going to do, after that somebody might take up the adventures of what happens with Lara after the 3 AOD stories, and she goes back to the desert finally to find the Bantiwa. I mean, the story possibilities in that are phenomenal, and I haven't even begun to get to grips with that yet. But I've got so many hundreds of pages of scribbled notes trying to knock them all into shape. So perhaps somebody else will do that.
Yes, perhaps, who knows? Well, maybe there is someone called Jennifer Miller doing stuff.
Well, she's certainly done a cracking job on the 2 follow-up AOD sequels. People ought to look that up and wait for that with bated breath. And there's a great trailer. If people haven't seen it, there's a fantastic trailer that's been put together, advertising the fact that second book. She's already done the Angel of Darkness novelization, of course, but the second one is due out at the beginning of next year, which is, for some reason, is a year that's quite significant, I think. So, that should be.
From what we understand, she has your blessing with the story.
Totally and completely. And if you get 2 people to write about the same story, you'll get different versions. But what Jenny has done, she's worked closely with me and incredibly hard with all the notes to remain true and faithful to the spirit and the elements of all the story parts which I've shared. And you just couldn't be in better hands than a writer like Jenny. She's got my full, complete endorsement on those 2 stories that are coming out. So check them out. Yeah.
Yes, well, if there's no further questions, I think we're done for the day. I think.
Ash.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just warming up.
Yeah, Murti, of course. Just a quick shout out to Dragica, the singing voice in El Hawa. She's my dear friend that I used to collaborate with in Finland, and she knows that I've been a huge Tremere fan for many years, and I sent her a message a couple of months ago like, hey, do you want to do something? And she was like, I was waiting for this for like many years. And I think that was like a perfect match for this kind of soundtrack. And also shout out to Calypsis, who also did a singing part. It's like 4 bars that nobody actually knows that there's one person, male person singing. It's when Lara mentions Scar, so shout out to him. And I'm gonna share the track on my YouTube right now. It has different visuals. It uses the same artwork from Yasmin, but they are like closer to the camera. There is no voiceovers, so maybe you will enjoy that too. Please check it out.
Check it out on
public.
YouTube. And also, we should
That sounds
give a shout out
fantastic.
to
Yeah.
Jasmine, who is not here today for some reason.
Absolutely, she is an absolute angel. She's fantastic. The artwork she's done for this is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I'm deeply in awe of her, and I had the privilege of meeting her on Saturday, and I got her to sign a couple of the postcards for me. So they're going in pride of place. She's a absolute gift. So thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you, Yasmin.
Yes, yeah, we call her all kinds of names, to be fair, like the way people pronounce
Zoom
it.
Zoom is the best one.
Zoom Zoom is my favorite
Zoom
one. It's
Zoom.
like Motorola. Zoom Zoom. Actually, there is a question from Murti, from Seth. Where may fans send you their Angel Darkness writings to get your opinion on?
Ooh.
You need
Yes.
a functional email address for that.
Oh no! I have so much work on. I don't honestly have the time to read other people's materials because I'm working on not only some follow-up AOD material, but I'm still writing my own novels for the Shadow Histories. I've planned 6 novels. I've got 2 of them done and finished and out. And Eric has a production company. Eric Loren has a production company, and he's trying to get the Shadow Histories made into a TV series. So I've got more work on my plate than I can actually easily handle. So it isn't really a feasible idea for me to be reading lots of other people's ideas and stories. But I do encourage you to continue with them. And you know, if you're looking for a seal of approval from me, the very fact that you've done it, I give my full blessing to that, and I think that's fantastic. Share it with your friends. Share it with the people who are also creating their own, and make your own films. But I really don't have time, which is a great sadness. I didn't get to meet all the people I wanted on Saturday, and that, you know, it's just the way life works sometimes.
Yes.
Okay then. Right, I'm just checking quickly. Okay, there is a message from Antonio Toronto. It's the second time he's writing it, so I'm gonna read it. Oh. There you go.
Wow, unsavory. That was very eloquent.
Yes,
Is that Eckhart? Is that Eckhart speaking Nepalese?
Yes. So there's a similar message from Orange as well. Oh, but a shorter one.
Oh, I want to say something because I see Seth is in the chat, and what I've written to you in Steve's Discord, Murti gave a blessing to that. He said it's an okay explanation that I've done.
It's a fantastic explanation. It's you know, if that doesn't make sense of it, then nothing will. And actually, all the material is there. Any questions that people come up with, make sure you read the material that's out there already. Don't ask poor old Tina Terranetti to be doing your research for you.
You should do that as
it's
usual.
there.
As per my last email, the information is there.
But I like giving answers. Makes me feel smart. It's like the only thing in the world that I actually know what to say, you know?
Well, you are smart and you do give good answers. So, yeah, they can ask you. Yeah, and they can send you the documents to read. So, yeah. And then you can tell me what they're like.
Not a bad job to have.
There you go. This is the website you should have a look at, everyone. MurtiSchofield.com. It will have a lot of information. It's currently on the screen for you all to visit. Right.
And we will update it with Ash's El Hawa link to his video and all that. We have a lot of work yet to do on it, but it's going to be updated with everything.
And
We've all been working really hard, haven't we? Everybody's been working really, really hard to get all this stuff together, and we just haven't been able to, finish everything completely. But yeah, the websites and everything, they're ongoing, so they will continue to develop and have new material added. So keep checking them out.
I just want to say one thing. I want to give a shout out to someone on YouTube called Curtis, which that person wrote a message on what El Hawa happenings like years ago, and it was that person's comment on YouTube under, I believe it was Peter Connolly's deleted shaman cutscene. Now that comment is gone, I can't find it anymore, but that's what actually started the snowball effect of this becoming an actual video. So whoever you are,
good on you. I mean, I'd been working on the El Hawa idea with a lot of notes for quite a while, but that moment kind of kick-started it, and I thought, people are interested in this, right? So it started to, get some kind of steam behind it, and start formalizing the notes and getting them all together. And then it, word spread, and I was talking to Ash about it, and a video, right? Brilliant. Okay, let's go ahead with that then. And then it just escalated. It went like wildfire. Yeah, it went like wildfire. And thank goodness I had a lot of the work already done. Otherwise, I'd have been caught short. So, Thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah. Sorry, Karen Messi.
No. Finish now.
Right. Really? Okay. There's going to be a director's cut of this where there's some readings of Utai involved at some point, and there's going to be some minor fixes to the animation, which I noticed already when it was out. So, but yeah, director's cut is coming soon in the next few months, hopefully. So look out for that as well. So I will. I think that's the end of it, really, unless there's anything else you have to say.
I just want to say I got to meet Steve of War. How about that?
I think Steve infected me with cold a bit as well, because when
there were tears there as well. I mean,
what? No, nothing.
Everybody was in tears. It was great. And I was having to leave early, and people were coming out and weeping at me.
It's interesting how Twitter is sometimes like a messy place where you'll have like fans clashing with different opinions, and Derby event was perfect. I was smiling for like 2 days straight, like having so much laughter that my cheekbones were actually hurting. So no drama.
No, that's the drugs, Dean. That's
greater fans. So
there was no conflict. There was no conflict, was there, Dean? No conflict. Nobody being unpleasant. There were no prima donnas. There was nobody, strolling about. It was just a great sharing, massive great sharing, and fantastic. Good for the heart.
Yeah, just a little bit awkward, when you meet people that you usually type with, and then like, that's a real person. So like you get totally different energy. I finally also met Steve. I met Chris. I met so many people that I've been communicating with. So next year how do we top this? I don't know, but
there's gonna be one next year. It's an annual thing now. Not sure what's assumingly gonna be 2 or 3 next year, but I'm not sure what they're gonna do.
I've got a great backlog of lines for Lara, for Eric and Jonell to deliver. Where they're going on. I've got this great backlog of stuff that I would have loved to have heard them deliver, and jokes and lines and harping and getting on at each other. I've got all this stuff, and I'd love to see some of that performed by them. So that'd be great. Yeah,
the musical. Yeah. Too rare, the musical.
Yes.
A music. How has that rumor started already? I haven't written the music yet.
Oh, there we go. It's already happening.
I will be Janice.
I will be the one-man band,
The place is crowded as it is, so get a haircut off my tits. Anyway,
And you get a chorus line of 25 Janices all doing high step dances in the back. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Busby Berkeley. Yeah.
I actually I can't think about it now. I think we need a musical. It's gonna be hilarious.
The musical.
It's like the Book of Mormon, but Tomb Raider edition. It's Janice doing
If I had a coconut for every time I've heard some lunatic say something like that.
Well, you would
seriously.
have one coconut because this is the
I've
first
got
time
my
I'm saying
coconuts,
it.
listen.
Murti came prepared.
Murti just
Yeah. And the other thing is, for the musical, Eric has a great singing voice. I mean, I've got a couple of CDs of his, and there's a track of his called "All This World," which was put to clips from Angel of Darkness recently, and it just brought me to tears again. Eric's a really good singer, and I've actually got an idea I'm broaching with him quite soon. It's not the musical.
Aww.
Do you know what's really fun? Jonell used to sing as well. There are a couple of songs out there in the wild where she's singing.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's actually really interesting that Eric is singing, Jonell is singing. Maybe the musical is not a crazy idea after all.
We have Shelley as well. Shelley could be one of the Natla or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Springtime for Eckhart. Likely from the producers. Springtime for Eckhart and Nephilim.
Oh God, what are we doing to AOD? AOD already hates me, doesn't need to hate me anymore. I'm not gonna do that.
We're just gonna wait for a Norse chick to write all the songs for the musical now.
Yes.
I'll be Janice the friendly prostitute. Look, Javier is already dancing. She's already prepared.
I want to see the lineup of multiple Janices. I think that'd be great. Oh dear.
You know,
okay, we need to take our pills now. Let's take our pills and just
we're shit posting right now with our mouth, but actually that might actually happen at some point. We might just do it. I mean, the stranger things have happened. Anyway, thank you all so much for being on the stream with me, you guys. Thank you, and thank you everyone who's watching.
Thank you.
I do apologize for the technical glitch we had, but if you failed to watch it during live stream, make sure to go on YouTube. You can see it there. It's live now, so you can have a look and enjoy it in full. I think it's actually rendered in 4K as well, so you can watch it in a glorious 4K if you would like. So follow me on Twitter, Twitch, although I haven't streamed in a while, but I will, I promise. Facebook, YouTube as well. Please, I would like to get 3,000 subscribers on YouTube one day. I'm nearly there. So make sure to follow these guys as well. Dean has his YouTube channel where he will upload the music from the Myth of El Hawa as well, if you love it. And also give a like to Pensa Columnist on streaming platform of your choice, who done this beautiful synthwave Tomb Raider theme you hear in the background right now. Follow Terence on Twitter and YouTube as well. And Murti has nothing, so I'm not gonna give a shout out on that. Although he has a website which I already promoted.
MurtiSchofield.com.
Yeah, I already promoted.
Just the website. Look at the website.
Yes, it's all there.
Yeah, the website.
Yeah, but I get the news through people like Dean and Terranetti and Ash and Jenny and so on. So I get the news that I need to hear. So it doesn't it doesn't intrude too much on my life as a hermit. So.
Oh, and also follow Shadow Archives on Twitter, and Jonell Elliott is on Instagram as the original Angel of Darkness. That's her, verified. We checked her. It's her. There's definitely her. Get connected, and hopefully see you all soon, virtually and in person, hopefully next year as well. Or maybe even a bit earlier. I'm trying to plot some events abroad, so we'll find out how that goes. And that is the end of our stream. Let's say goodbye.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Dean. Bye, Tina. Bye, Ash. And bye, everybody out there. Bye.
See you later.